Hi, this is the evaluation of the order trading system for April the 12th, 2021. We had 5 trades on that day, 3 were buys and 2 were short sells. First trade is CEMI. That's Chembiodiagnostics Incorporated. It tripped at 12:13:58 p.m. at a price of $3.96. It was a buy. It closed the day at 388, down 5.13%, and it's actually down early morning 3.09%. So that's not looking good. So let's see, 1213. Yeah, see, it tripped around here. 388, 395, then dropped. 394, 94, 95. It just never came up, and I do not have my stuff ready, so let's go open that up, obviously. Temp order it. Pardon me, I was just opening up my spreadsheet. Okay. So we'll see if potential on that stock is anything. 1216, 1213. 1216. I don't seem to have that one. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's not the right stock on the first one. Let's see. 1213. Okay, somehow it showed up the second stock. Interesting. Yeah. So it's this stock. 1213, 58, 1213. Okay. So this was the CMI buy. It tripped up here, came down, but you can see end of day volume started shooting up positive at the end of the day, which is interesting because price movement, yeah, it was moving up, but the last half hour wasn't really showing. The price is not really indicative of the indicators, but we'll use indicators. MACD, like I said, it came up, and then MACD end of day, end of day, you could see technically the last hour, the stock moving up, both MACD and OBV. Volume also started to move up, and Bollinger Band moving up. I'm going to put it as a possible because the indicators are actually all showing at the end of the day the stock started to recover again. You could see the afternoon period, it was down negative, fairly strongly negative, so it was moving down obviously because of it, but you could see that all indicators are showing at the end of the day, last hour roughly, the stock was making a recovery again. So I say possible just because of that, even though early morning the stock is showing it moving down, the indicators are indicating that it was moving up at the end of the day. Yeah. This is just looking quickly here at the next stock, which is DVAX. That's Dynavax Technologies Corporation, tripped at 12:16:04 p.m. at a price of $9.89. It was a buy, and I was just quickly looking at the morning market movements. You could see that they actually are like Nasdaq is down, S&P is down, Dow is not too much up, so they're technically not really strong. And probably the reason maybe why the other stuff was showing a morning drop was because of the morning activity is not showing that. Anyways, Dynavax Technologies Corporation, it closed at 10:07, so that's a positive. And that was a 1216, which actually was the first one that was registered on this one. So take a look at that. OBV just showing a steady incline. MACD came up and moved down a bit in the early afternoon and started to recover in the afternoon. DI was up strongly when it tripped. Came down a bit in the end of day period. The afternoon it was moving up again. Bollinger Band showing the same thing. And technically it was showing sideways movements in the afternoon, a bit of recovery at the end of the day also. Next trade is FRSX, and that is Foresight Autonomous Holdings Limited, tripped at 1257.30 at a price of 518. It was a buy. It closed the day at 507, down 10.9%. But you can see it's making a recovery here early morning at 1.38%, so it actually is making a recovery. And we will see 1257, yeah, roughly around this period here. But you can see it came down. It never recovered above that. That was the 1257 one. 1213, 1257. Yeah, you can see OBV showing that it was rising up to that peak period, then came down in the afternoon. MACD came down, but recovered in the afternoon. It dropped early afternoon, but then recovered, dropping at the end of the day. DI showing the same thing, came up. Interestingly, it wasn't actually strongly positive in the DI activity, and actually right after that is when it dropped quite heavily. But the afternoon it recovered and somewhat moving sideways, and the day is actually DI showing that it is negative, and Bollinger Band, I'm going to say possible because the indicators are not really showing negative strongly. I guess you could say they're showing somewhat negative, but in general, I think the overall is somewhat positive, so I feel comfortable saying that's a possible. Definitely not a positive because it obviously didn't come up to where it needed to come up to make a profit. Next trade is CRM, that's Salesforce Com Incorporated, tripped at 2:06 p.m. at a price of 228.19, and it was a short sell. It closed the day at 228.76, down 1.09%. And let's see about that. 206. So roughly around this period where, even though it was showing up here, it probably caught it when it came down. 228.19. Yeah. No, it never had any activity where it was down below its stripping price, so that's another non-positive. 406, okay. OBV, roughly showing sideways activity, so volume is not too explicit. MACD shows that, yeah, it came down here, volume dropped heavily, and then recovered a little bit, but it did drop quite a bit. DI came down, stayed down most of the afternoon, and a bit of recovery at the end of the day, and then it looks like it was moving negative again. Bollinger Band, same type of thing, came down but recovered a little bit as the day, but it was moving more sideways than not, and the end of the day was moving negative. I'm going to say that's possible because it actually is showing somewhat of a negative trend in general with the indicators. The OBV not so much, but OBV is really not a good choice. It's not a strong negative, but I think the three final indicators are actually showing somewhat of a negative direction. So I'm going to say that's possible because of those ones. Next trade is IDRA. That is Idera Pharmaceuticals Incorporated. A trip at 3:53 p.m. at a price of 120. It was a short sell. It closed the day at 120, down 10.45%, and you can see it's actually making a recovery early morning here, up 4.17%. So that's not good. And that trip to 340. I hate these ones at the end of the day. Yeah. Yeah. That one also is not showing very positive. And well, there's no positive there with that. Indicators, OBV showing the end of the day, yeah, it was coming down. MACD showing it dropped heavily and stayed down. DI showing dropped. Bollinger Band showing it dropping. The indicators are showing that the stock was moving down. I would say this early morning activity kind of like makes it look like it's not positive with respect to being a negative, but the indicators are somewhat across the board very strongly negative. I'll say it's a possible, just because this one across the board, the indicators are showing that the stock is moving down at the end of the day and closing. So to me, that's positive. So we've only had one trade out of 5. So 20% positive, but 100% possible. And not an absolute great day, but again, if you consider the possible opportunities, this could be, day after positive results could come out of it. I'll leave it at that. Thank you very much.